This is formulas and literal equations. Here is your first example. Keep in mind that you will be removing things away from the letter that you are asked to solve for. It's the m in our case, in the following order. If one of the steps is not applicable, you simply move to the next step. Here in this example, to get the m by itself, you have to remove two things, the a and the t. Both of those are attached to m through multiplication. So essentially we're here at this step. We're going to remove multiplication through division. We will be dividing both sides of the equation by both a and t, so they cancel on the right side. And you simply write divided by AT on the left, and that gives you C over AT equals M. This is it, you solved for M. Here's your number 2. So in this equation, when you're trying to get your A by itself, you have to remove 1/4 and you have to remove the X. There is a couple of different ways to remove 1/4, because some of us may think of 1/4 as multiplication by 1/4 and we can divide by 1/4, but that may create a challenge because you will be dividing the 7 by a fraction and may be a little difficult. Another way to look at removing 1/4 is like we did in section 1.3, where we were operating on equations with fractions. There, we multiplied everything, in this case the left side and the right side, by the LCD, which in our case is the only denominator, and that's the 4. So I will multiply the left side by 4. So this is the 7 times 4, and then also the right side by 4. Keep in mind, this is one big term. You don't have to multiply every part of it by 4. What we get after this multiplication is 28, then the equal sign. On the right side, you have this 1 times 4, which is 4 over 4 times ax. Now, of course, 4 over 4 is a 1, so you have 28 equals 1ax, and a lot of times we just write ax without the 1. Remember, our goal is to get the a by itself, so all that's left to do is to remove the x. X is attached to a through multiplication, so we will divide both sides by that x, which cancels the x's next to a, which is exactly what we wanted. And on the left, you have 28 over x equals a. Here's your example number 3. We're asked to get the c by itself. So remember the steps: distribute, then remove addition and subtraction, then remove multiplication and division. There is no distributing here. However, to get the c by itself, you have to remove this 7, which is attached to c through multiplication, and that comes last. You also have minus 7m that is attached to c through subtraction, and we have to take care of that first. So I'm going to first take my negative 7m and move it here to the right by doing the opposite, which is addition. So 7c equals x minus 8 plus 7m. Now again, our goal is to get the c by itself, so 7 needs to be removed through division, and I will divide by 7 on the left, which cancels the 7's, leaves me with the c. And I also have to divide the whole right side by 7. And please do not cancel the 7 that's next to m on the top and this 7. The reason I'm saying that is because the 7 that's on the bottom is dividing the x, the 8, and the 7m. So if you only cancel it with the 7m, you are ignoring the fact that it's dividing the x and the 8 as well. Which means our answer is x minus 8 plus 7m on the top and the 7 on the bottom. Here is your number 4, and we will be solving for b, which is right here. And remember the 3 steps, the order in which you're doing the steps when you're solving for a certain letter is distribute, then move addition or subtraction, and then move division or multiplication. We have a set of parentheses here, so we will be distributing our 5. So after the equal sign here, you have 35a, and you also have positive 40b. Now our goal again is to get the b by itself. We were asked to solve for b. So I will now be removing addition or subtraction. 35a is attached to my b through addition. It's a positive 35a. So when I'm taking that 35a and placing it here, I'm going to make it negative 35a. So we're removing additions through subtraction. This is what I now have before the equal sign. I already had a y, this y. But now I also have minus 35a, which I dragged over from the right side. On the right side, however, I only am left with 40b. Finally, I need to remove my 40 to get my b completely by itself. So I will be dividing both sides by 40. The whole left side gets divided by 40. And again, please do not try to reduce this 35 and the 40 for the exact same reason as we had with the 7 in the previous question. 40 impacts the y and the 35a. So you cannot simply take that 40 and reduce it with the 35. Leave it alone. It cannot be simplified any further. So we get y minus 35a over 40 equals b. And here's the last one. We are solving for a. So we want that a to be by itself, and it's right, it's right here inside of the parentheses. So we will start with distributing. I'm going to distribute 1/2 h, that's what you have in the front, into the a first and then into the b second. So that gives me 1/2 h a plus 1/2 h b, and then my capital A on the left. Now, I will be removing addition or subtraction and then multiplication or division, but before I do that, I will go ahead and remove the fractions by multiplying every term by the LCD, which is 2. It's the only denominator that we see, so it serves as our LCD. I'll multiply my big A by 2, my 1/2 HA by 2, and my 1/2 HB also by 2. So on the left, I have 2A. On the right, let's see, we have 1 times 2 over 2. So it's 2 over 2, which is 1. 1 HA. And remember, you can just write that as HA. Similarly, here you have 1 times 2 over this 2. So that's 2 over 2 again, or 1 HB, and you can just remove the 1. Now we're solving for A. Let's keep our goal in mind. We're trying to get that A by itself. Right here it tells us solve for A. So I want this A by itself. I will now remove addition of HB. So addition goes to the other side by doing the opposite, which is subtraction. So 2 capital A minus HB equals, and then the only thing that's left on the right side is your HA. Finally, to get that a by itself, I will be removing this h that's next to it. It's attached to it through multiplication, so I will be dividing by h. I will be dividing by h on the left. For the same reason and as in previous two questions, I don't want you to cancel these two h, because the bottom h has to divide the 2a and the hb. So if you cancel it with the h that is next to the b, then it's removed from the 2a and it has to impact it as well. So we're done. This is our answer. 2 capital A minus hb over h equals lowercase a. These questions, when you are typing your answer, are very picky about case, lowercase or uppercase. So please be mindful of that. They are case sensitive. But other than that, this completes 1.5.